Hi, how you doing? I'm going to be doing the adaptation and adjustment video today. I'll be talking about everything that we discussed in reference to that. I read a lot of the postings by the group, and I liked a lot of them. Tori had a really good line about how adaptability and adjustment phase didn't necessarily mean that the client was happy. It means that this phase allows for the release of false hope and adaptation to new roles and realistic limitations with new potentials. Basically, it just means that the client realizes that disability is not going away, and now they're going to have to find ways to succeed. Blair posted something that was pretty good. She posted that there was a way to measure the level of adaptation and adjustment by using different assessments and metrics with and for the client. Now, I think this is very helpful because now the client and the counselor can pinpoint where to focus their energies and start building that resiliency. Um, I borrowed Kim's definition from her posting because it's better than the one I posted. In other words, her definition is easier to understand. So she's basically posted adaptation refers to the individual's capability to become accustomed to small changes as a result of the disability, which may or may not be permanent. Now, adjustment is a longer term process and it refers to the final phase in the process, where the individual, perhaps facing a more permanent disability, will need to absorb the disability as part of a lifestyle. Very interesting. Now, there are postings and there's debates to how many, psychological or psychosocial stages there are when it comes to having that disability. Usually anywhere between 4 to 8 is the number, but today I'm going to talk about the big 4. You have shock, denial, anger slash depression, and adjustment slash acceptance. Now, the last stage is basically the longest lasting because it takes time to find those coping skills in order to succeed in life, and no one knows how long and if they're ever going to come to grips with their disability. This leads people to sometimes go back and forth between the 4 cycles in order to, adapt. Now, the words adaptability and adjustment are pretty interchangeable and they can mean the same, but they're really different in meaning when it comes to dealing with the daily aspects of the social, mental, and physical complications of the disability. Even if the client may have adapted to the disability, they may not fully adjusted to the identity of being disabled. Now, this psychosocial aspect is one of the reasons why adjustment is always related to the concept of time. Time is needed in order for the client to feel self confident in their disability identity and achieving those small personal goals such as employment, socializing, and confidence with their daily tasks. In other words, they have to feel comfortable in their own skin when they're conducting the daily business of life. Those that have difficulty are going to continue to ebb and flow through the adaptability and adjustment phase for as long as it takes. Now, lastly, when it comes to counselors or caregivers, it's important to know and to recognize the client's behavior and emotional state throughout this process. As a counselor, it's important to continually evaluate and adjust ourselves accordingly as well in order to fully support and assist our client. The client's going to have some tough times as well as epiphanies relating to their disability, and they're looking for you to help them. We, as the counselors, are there to remind them of those positive breakthroughs that they had and help them recognize and remember that those coping skills that they discovered on their own, you know, through this process is what's going to help them. I think in the end, I don't think anyone truly really gets over being disabled. Uh, the phrase resiliency keeps coming to mind every time I think of someone getting better. We say things like, oh, he or she looks like they've beat that disability, when they're probably just having a really good day, with some mental clarity. Some days, obviously, they're not. But I think the big word to talk about isn't adaptation or adjustment, it's resiliency. The art of the mind overcoming the obstacles when all the chips are down and being able to continue on. That's what I believe in. So thank you, and I'll see you later. Bye.